Hi, this is Biotechnology Revealed, Part 11. Today I'm going to talk about a little biotech company that didn't make it, called Viragen. It was founded in the early 1980s. Floundered around through that period until the early 90s when Gerald Smith, a group headed by Gerald Smith, took the company over in the early 90s. He had a very good reason for wanting to do that, which I'll show you later. They were trying to develop a natural interferon. A natural interferon, what's out there right now is the recombinant or artificial interferon, which is used mostly for hepatitis C, and your body wants to fight that off. It's not natural to your body, so there's a lot of really horrendous side effects to that. So making a natural interferon would greatly help, probably be more effective and with a lot less side effects. So it was a promising drug. A lot of people try to develop the natural interferon, but they couldn't do it. But Viragen was making progress along those lines. And they also, in December of 2000, obtained the rights to the OVA system, which is making therapeutic proteins in the egg whites of chicken. That had a very big implication as far as making proteins go. And, you know, the things looked very bright at that point. Let me show you some things on my board. As you can see here, here's an article from November 12th in 2000. All eyes on Viragen as it edges towards a cancer breakthrough. Now, the natural interferon was also going to be used for to treat all forms of cancer, mainly malignant melanoma. And as of November of 2000, it was close to a breakthrough. And that's pretty much the last time you saw a breakthrough on that for a while. Sort of disappeared after that. We are manufacturing our products in the fight against cancer and chronic viral diseases such as hepatitis. The product is, if you can read that, Omniferon. Now scientists understand that naturally produced interferon is 400 times more effective, and Viragen is producing this. Things look great for Viragen at that time. And as you can see there, it was hailed as a significant breakthrough. Things were looking great. And this is one of the reasons I bought Viragen back. I owned the stock back in December of 1999, and I sort of bought it on a whim on somebody's advice. But then after I read this article, this particular one, it really sold me on it. The Viragen story is well known. A struggling biotech company that in the early 90s was near bankruptcy when Gerald Smith and 10 partners put up $1 million for a 34% stake. Now this is what really sold me on Viragen and Gerald Smith. He told the Sunday Herald, in 1988 my wife was diagnosed with bone, lung, and uterine cancer and given 90 days to live. She declined radiation and chemotherapy treatments, but lived for 5 more years and fulfilled a lifelong dream of completing her PhD. I believe the credit for this goes to Viragen's natural alpha interferon injections. He has since raised over $60 million to fund development. Now he raised the $60 million before November of 2000. So I figured with a guy like that in charge, he knows what it's worth. He's just not the businessman on this end of it. He knows personally how well this works and will work. And you figure he's really determined to see this through and help a lot of people with it. And here's where you see now eagle-eyed Wall Street financiers believe Omniferon is close to being marketed and that the potential market is vast. Well, this is November of 2000, and it was, for whatever reason, never marketed. But after getting the OVA system in the winter of 2000, things seemed to go downhill from there. They formed no partnerships. They raised little money. They had the world's worst CFO. And the only cash they raised was through issuing more shares, hundreds of millions of more shares, which diluted the value of the stock and just sent it lower and lower. Nobody wanted to buy it. They've had signed deals over the years, but those deals evaporated. They bought another natural interferon company, and the two of them combined made less interferon than as individual companies, when they were individual companies. That makes no sense. And by the fall of 2007, the company was just run into the ground. They had a lot of promise in two different areas, and by fall of 07, it was gone. And I'll just show you this one more thing. And if you look at this here, if you Google OVA Project Roslin, that's where it was, the OVA system was being worked on, was Roslin Institute in Scotland. So if you Google it, you can see that's Google, that's the OVA Project. You have what amounts to something that's tragic and amusing at the same time. You have Viragen reports expression breakthrough using the OVA system. And that was in May of 2007. They had a tremendous breakthrough. And then only a couple of months later, Viragen halts development of the avian transgenic technology. Doesn't seem to make much sense, but not a lot with this company made a lot of sense. Seems they bumbled their way into bankruptcy. Well, the projects Viragen was working on, there were a couple pretty important projects. A way of making all proteins vastly cheaper, and also the natural interferon, which would work 400 times better than recombinant interferon, and with a lot less side effects. Two very promising things that they seemingly bungled away. So basically that concludes Biotechnology Revealed. As you can see, this sector is going up 20% a year as far as drug sales go. Most of what's in the approval pipeline is biologics. You know, 2/3 to 3/4 is in there. How costly it is to make these things. It's the most costly what process ever to make anything of such little output. You're building billion-dollar plants that put out a pound maybe a day, which is, if you built a billion-dollar oil refinery, you could put out 100,000 gallons a day. So it's the most expensive way to make anything, anytime, anywhere. And with what's mostly in the pipeline being these biologics, and with people having a hard time paying for these biologics, where do we go from here? I don't know. We'll see. Bye.